Welcome to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Avery Henningsen here alongside Owen Snow as we're set to bring you some men's soccer action as the Husson University Eagles take on the University of Maine at Farmington Beavers in this North Atlantic Conference matchup between two of the better teams in the conference. Owen, right now it looks like Thomas is the front runners, followed pretty closely by the Eagles, but Farmington right in the mix as well between those three squads.
Yep, it's going to look to be a good matchup today as Husson came off a dominating win against Umpy 6-0. Looking at the University of Maine Farmington, they come off a 1-6 loss against Bates. So two teams kind of in opposite directions, but I assume it's going to be a good matchup tonight.
Yeah, and that Bates one is kind of an odd one to look at. Bates, one of the better teams in New England, most likely. Those NESCAC schools, kind of Bowdoin, Bates, Colby, those are some of the better teams that most of these North Atlantic Conference teams will play during their regular seasons. So it's a 1-6 loss, but still getting a goal even up on a NESCAC school is usually an accomplishment in its own. So this Farmington team is coming in definitely on a little bit of a low streak, but also that's a game that they kind of wipe off of their memory a little bit. As more of just a tune-up, this is what the better opponents are going to look like.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And going up against a more evenly matched team like Husson, the game could go either way.
This Husson team obviously has been one of the best in the conference for the last few years, losing in the North Atlantic championships last year after winning the east side of things, beating Farmington in that championship game. So obviously these two teams, a lot of history over the years. Farmington beat Husson back in the 2021 NAC semifinals. That's their only one of 3 wins they've had since 2004 over the Eagles. So Husson's really had Farmington's number this year. But we saw earlier in the year, Thomas is another team that Husson's had their number. Thomas came out, smacked the Eagles at home, now have that lead head start overall in the conference.
Yep, and Husson, they're on a 4-game win streak right now against UMF, so we'll see if they're able to push it to 5 games.
And this Farmington team looking a little bit different than they did a season past. They had 11 seniors last year, only, I believe, 3 this season. So only 7 upperclassmen for Farmington. A lot of freshmen and sophomores. Also a very Lewiston-Auburn dominated group out there. They were down 8 out of their 28 players from that area. That's a hotbed for some really good soccer players down there. Lewiston consistently has been one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, and Lewiston, one of the biggest cities in Maine as a whole, they're always looking to bring in talent. And UMF, their proximity pretty close to Lewiston and Auburn, so I am not surprised by the amount of homegrown talent right there.
Obviously, this Husson team, a very large international group out there. They only have 10 players out of 33 from the United States, so kind of speaks volumes that more than two-thirds of their team is from out of country. This is a very diverse team out there that has kind of a very European style of play. But we'll be right back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We're going to hand this one over to public address announcer Joseph Swanson for the national anthem and starting lineups.
Insurance, Sear Bus Line, Domino's, Downey's Orthopedics, Dice Arts, First National Bank, Gatorade, Greenway Equipment Sales, Harvest Moon Deli, Hero Sports Grill and Entertainment Center, Holiday Inn, Pepsi, Pizzeria Uno, Ron's Moving, Saco Bay Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, School Street Picture Framing Incorporated, Ticket Smarter, U.S. Air Force, Barney Buick GMC Mazda, and White Sporting Goods. The NCAA North Atlantic Conference and Husson University promote good sportsmanship by the student athletes, coaches, and spectators in today's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity or racial comments or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, or coaches or team representatives will not be tolerated or grounds for removal from Boucher Field. At this time, let's meet the starting lineups for today's contest. First, for the visiting Beavers. In goal, sophomore number 1, Jackson Leach. A freshman midfielder, number 2, Nasif Abdid. A sophomore defender, number 3, Abdul Jabbar Abdid. A freshman defender, number 5, Ahmed Abdoud. A senior midfielder, number 7, Zach Chazon. A senior defender, number 8, William Dowsey. A sophomore forward, number 10, Mohamed Abdow. A sophomore midfielder, number 11, Abdi. A junior defender, number 16, Arden Weaver. A senior forward, number 19, Caleb Coleman. And a freshman midfielder, number 22, Sharuki Hassan. Head coach for Farmington is Blake Hart. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. A graduate student captain from Concord, New Hampshire, number 6, Mosi Masimango. In goal, a sophomore from Thornton, Colorado, number 36, Garrett Jordan. A sophomore from Caracas, Venezuela, number 5, Victor Blanco. A senior from Madrid, Spain, number 9, Mario Alvarez. A junior from Valeries, France, number 12, Arik Weinstein. A freshman from Maubeuge, France, number 15, Thibaut Desorme. A junior from Caracas, Venezuela, number 21, Carlos Echevers. A sophomore from Burrowville, Rhode Island, number 28, Adam Woods. A senior from Buxton, Maine, number 29, Nate Chamberlain. A senior from Frauenfeld, Switzerland, number 30, Florian Gasser. And a sophomore from Bangor, Maine, number 31, Beckett Parkin. The Eagles are coached by Carlos Bermudez, and he's assisted by Matt Goodman and Alex Bryant. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back here to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Owen Snow here. We're just about set to get underway here. Eagles wearing their all gray uniforms, moving from right to left, while Farmington will be in their all maroon uniforms on your left side. When we mentioned these two teams know each other pretty well, these are those kind of in-conference matchups that can definitely get physical as the game continues. This is definitely a little bit of a different Farmington team. I think a little more technical than they have been in seasons past. Last year, they were a very, very physical team. A big kind of Maranacook group on the defensive end.
I'm looking to see quite the defensive game from both teams. I feel like both teams are going to start aggressive quickly and look to start the momentum and prove why they should be the team to win tonight.
And this is a very important game in terms of NAC conference standings towards the end of the year. The Eagles right now kind of on the path of in need of kind of winning out all of their conference games in order to gain hosting abilities. I think Farmington probably in a similar boat. Both of them right now, Thomas definitely in the driver's seat in terms of that number one seed capabilities. And we'll see how it plays out here today. Eagles coming out with pretty much the same lineup that we saw them run against Presque Isle to start off the contest. Couple changes, couple guys who were kind of interchangeable with each other out there. Still missing Pedro Molina, serving his suspension for his red card from a couple games ago. He's a big defensive piece for the Eagles that they'll definitely be missing against this strong Farmington attack. And let's Looks like Husson will start with the ball here, Owen.
See what Husson can do quick off this kick.
And a lot of games I've seen, I mean, I've been broadcasting here for Husson for the last 3 seasons. A lot of games often get decided kind of in that first 10 minutes. Obviously, it can change as the contest goes on. Seen those late game heroics. But sometimes those teams that get up on the board early, it just puts you in a advantageous position that you just have those goals in hand. You can give one back later in the game and still have it be an even score or even you up by a couple out there.
Right, you're 100% right on that. But also the second half can be a huge important factor too, as we saw Husson against Umpy just light it up in the second half. So that was a close game at the end of that first half, but they just poured on the goals.
Well, on the flip side too, in terms of Husson taking on Thomas a couple weeks ago now, similar story, 2-1 at halftime, wound up finishing 6-1 scoreline. So the Eagles, also I think something they've struggled with a little bit this year is kind of allowing flurries of goals. That once they break down, it kind of goes from bad to worse very quickly. And that's something I think they're working on avoiding out there.
A big thing for them, too, is just trying to keep their composure. When they let up a goal, they just have to shrug it off and think about the next play.
Yeah, this is a team that often wears their emotions on their chest a little bit. Very international squad, like we mentioned. A lot of love for the game amongst a lot of these guys. That one, a long ball from Weinstein up over the top, trying to find Gasser. Gasser in behind the defense. He's going to put a shot towards the post, just off of it. Still alive. This one out wide to Alvarez, but he's going to lose that possession in the middle. Almost a glorious chance there for Husson.
Florian Gasser getting the step up on the Farmington defense, and he looked to score and just hit the post, unfortunately.
So Woods clearing that one out wide. I believe that was Coleman up on the offensive end, who almost broke free. Thomas team led by a couple of their dynamic strikers. Mohamed Adow coming off his rookie season. Saw him be a first-team all-conference selection as a freshman. He's out on the left wing wearing the number 10 jersey. A switch from last year. I believe he was 27 as a freshman.
He's going to be a player to watch out for in this game.
Other guy in the middle for Farmington, Shason, someone who kind of plays in that attacking midfield role. This one trying to go up over the top. The Eagles are going to catch Farmington offsides on that one.
A lot of back and forth so far from both teams, keeping it in the midfield for the most part. Besides that, one breakout Husson had that just hit the post.
The Eagles running a little bit of a new formation as of late for this past 2 games, changing it up after that pretty tough loss against Thomas. Moving to a more of a 3-back line with a couple big group in the midfield. It's definitely a big offensive switch.
This formation will definitely help with counterattacks and moving up in transition with one guy in the front and then a whole ton of midfielders.
Yeah, this Eagles team definitely led by kind of this midfield group. We've kind of mentioned in the past that they don't really have a whole lot. They don't really have a true striker. They kind of have 12 attacking midfielders who some of them can kind of play in that position, but it's a little bit of a difference for them. So we'll go wide for a Farmington throw in here. This one sent in short. Sorum fighting for it here. That one's going to go off of him. Pretty key group of freshmen starting for this squad.
So we can see on the roster they got 13 freshmen UMaine Farmington has. That's quite a bit for this group. A lot of young development, and for them, that could change a lot in 4 years.
4 of them already consistent starters for this Farmington squad, as well as a couple sophomores as well. It's a very young team. The Eagles team definitely has a lot more experience, especially through that central part of the midfield.
Are a couple underclassmen starting though for Husson, so it's a good mix of both young talent and experience.
Both Desorme and Blanco have played a lot of minutes this year. I believe Blanco actually leading the team in minutes as a freshman. One trading throw-ins down in the corner. And that one's going to be an offsides call. I believe the Eagles defense managing to step up as a unit on that one.
Yeah, it was a good play by Husson, just forcing them offside.
This one's going to get taken short to the keeper. And I believe we saw Garrett Jordan take on Bowdoin. Bowdoin, one of the better teams in New England. Definitely, struggled, a little bit in goal in that one, but obviously playing against probably the best opponent the Eagles will take on the year. I believe Bowdoin nationally ranked in the top 15.
Yeah, they pulled him after the first half after allowing 4 goals. I think if they kept him in, his composure probably would have gotten worse as the game went on.
It was definitely, I remember I was on that game. It was kind of a tough situation for him. A number of those goals were just kind of breakaways past the defense that were kind of those ones where the goalkeeper has to make that 50-50 decision of, do I come out of my box? Do I come clear this off the line? If I mess up here, it's a 1v1 with the goal, basically. And he made the wrong decision a couple times, and it led to the couple goals. But those aren't really ones that you can blame on a goalkeeper necessarily.
Yeah, those breakaways and fast breaks are always tough for keepers, as it's a defensive breakdown on the team, and it's really not much he can do in that situation.
Especially considering Jordan, pretty inexperienced at the goalkeeper position. Seen him in a few games over the seasons, but
well, he's only a sophomore, so he still has plenty of time to grow and develop and make a big impact in his junior and senior year.
And just a year ago, you obviously had Rechsteiner for the Eagles, who played most of the minutes in goal. This season, it's been kind of a split between 3 of the guys, with Jordan, DeWitt, and Bermudez. And it was a great little defensive stand there from Asamongo. Doesn't amount to much for him, though. Farmington also having a lot of guys in that central midfield. That battle between Chasen and Asamongo will be one to watch in this contest.
Yeah, and Masimango with 3 goals on the year, tied with the most on this Husson team. Look to see him get involved in this game.
Yeah, kind of an interesting stat line, really, for him. I believe didn't have any goals as a sophomore or junior. Had 1 as a freshman, so definitely kind of having a career offensive season in his senior year.
And he did have 1 goal in that Umpy game.
And it was a beautiful one. That was probably the best goal of the game. Kind of dribbled through 3 or 4 different guys from 25 yards out and then put one bottom corner. Samongo definitely showing off those senior skills. Obviously known as more of a defender out there in the midfield. Very physical, very vocal out there.
He's definitely a leader for this Husson squad as he wears the captain brace.
Samongo in years past a little bit kind of I don't want to say unsung hero, but definitely usually teams will look at, when you look on paper, you look at those offensive stats, which Samongo wasn't really that guy for the Eagles. They had other players who were more their offensive weapons. But he was more of kind of that backbone to the defense, backbone to the midfield, and really helped them be one of the better teams in the conference.
He didn't really have to do much on offense. There's a reason why they made it all the way to the conference finals, as he proved to be a defensive leader out there, and he let the attackers do most of the work.
That was a good sliding play there out on the left side. Can't quite see the number on that one, but now fast break opportunity here for Farmington as Adow sends a player up the left side. This one cross 2 inside.
And a good job by Adam Woods to catch up to him and stop his tracks and force him outside. And Woods only a sophomore on the squad and getting the early start. You like to see that for him.
I believe that was Ahmed Adow out there on the left wing. So now Eagles trying to have a chance of their own. It's DeSorm on the left side trying to put one across. We'll see if the goalkeeper got a finger to that one. That's going to go out for a goal kick.
That's the second time this game that Husson is really push it out that left side, as DeSorme showing off his speed and getting a good shot on goal. You like to see the early offense producing for them.
That's Douse on the possession down there. Douse played 1,500 plus minutes for this squad for the last 3 years. Well over 5,000 in his 4-year career here for Farmington. It's kind of one of the last of that group that played almost every minute for Farmington for 3 or 4 years. Remember in years past they had really kind of their whole back line would stay out there for most of the game for 3 years. And a good play there from Alvarez in the middle. Echeverris is going to take a shot. That one off the crossbar as the keeper there managed to get his fingers on it. That's the 6'4" Jackson Leach who managed to poke that one high.
That was a great, powerful kick right there, and goalkeeper is lucky to get his fingertips on that one, as that could have been the first goal in this early contest.
Leach, an excellent goalkeeper for this Farmington team. Only allowed 9 goals over 13 contests a season ago. Has had about a 75% save percentage in his career. Only a sophomore for this squad.
Leach also has 4 shutouts on the season so far, so really proven to be the star goaltender for this Beavers team.
And of the 7 goals allowed, I believe 3 of those coming in that Bates game that we talked about. I believe he came out of that one at halftime. Kind of stepped up to be the consistent starter, and it's one of those ones you can't really teach height all that often. Obviously, there's a lot to goalkeeping besides height.
Well, being 6'4", yeah, definitely helps to have the height on it. With Garrett Jordan on the other side being only 5'10", so definitely a height difference in that department.
Yeah, this Husson team, not a whole lot of height in the goalkeeping position. I think the tallest one out of that group in being Jamie Barr at 6 foot. We haven't seen him in a actual in-season game. He's been the go-to keeper in a couple of the scrimmage-type games that Husson's played.
And he's only a freshman, too. His time will come once all these seniors depart.
It's a very young goalkeeping group out there. I believe you have a couple freshmen, a couple sophomores in that group.
Yeah, Bermudez and Garrett Jordan are both sophomores.
Like DeWitt here in his first season, but classified as a sophomore, so you will have this group for a while, but it will be a corner kick upcoming here for the Eagles. This has been one of their key scoring plays on the season.
We'll see if Husson decides to be aggressive on this corner kick or if they decide to be conservative.
It'll be Gasser to take this one. Eagles packing in around the keeper here, just trying to block Leach's view. This one sent well too long, and that one's over the head of Masamongo. Will be out for a goal kick.
It's a good try by Husson on that corner kick, just over the head of Masimango. See what see what the Beavers have on this little drive right here.
And the Storm's going to step to that one. Masimango there as well. No foul call. This one into the middle to Gasser, looking for options. Parkin up over the top, trying to find Alvarez. A little too strong on that pass, though.
It was a nice try by Park, and he saw the guy cutting to the left wing, and just unfortunately over the head.
And Parkin trying to carve himself a little bit of a starting role. Back-to-back games here for the Eagles, starting in that kind of central midfield position. Obviously, the Eagles missing a few guys. Like Alejandro Mora's been out for the last few games. He's someone that I would think would step back into a wing role. Probably in about that same position that Parkin's playing. Noguera, another guy who we saw have an excellent game to start off against Presque Isle, and then kind of, remember, limp off a little bit. Not starting in this one. Not quite sure on that injury update. It didn't look like it was anything too serious, but probably just resting him here.
Yeah, Mora on the year has 3 goals, and Noguera has 2 goals, so they have been good goal scorers for this Eagles team.
So Alvarez departing there for Neto. Looks like Gasser will drop back into that position vacated by Alvarez. Now Alvarez has been dealing kind of with a few ankle injuries for most of the season. I would have thought Alvarez would stay out there for most of this half, so probably something bothering him just a little bit out there.
They're probably just trying to evaluate and make sure that his risk of injury is not that high. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back out here soon if he's all good to go.
This is a very deep Eagles squad. You obviously don't want to lose those types of players later on in the season. And a strong tackle there from the Storm down on the near sideline, followed by a second kind of 50-50 play between Gasser and Farmington. It looks like Farmington coming out on the worse end. And offsides called there on that one. They keep trying that ball down the left wing to a down. It hasn't quite worked out yet.
Looks like Abdi is a little bit shaken up, number 3. Looks like he got hit in the ankle as he's walking it off right now. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Him and Gasser colliding on that play. Didn't look like anything too nefarious out there. It was more just kind of a collision. Both of them going for the ball.
Yeah, that's just a soccer play right there. There was no harm either way.
So Woods with possession here is going to go cross field. That one kind of into no man's land, though. Storm fighting for this one here against Farmington. And Farmington will win this one. Send it all the way back to Douse on the back line.
We're seeing Husson be quite aggressive on the defensive end so far in the early stages. It's probably what their game plan was to be starting out.
This one up top to Neto here, finding Parkin. Little ticky-tack passing here for the Eagles right through the middle of the Farmington defense, but that last one a little too far. So a Dow going out wide to Chasen. That one sent short here. And it's going to be the foul there. That was Blanco who went down on it.
Yeah, and Blanco came a long way to just stop that left winger on that side and just a little bit tackled down, results in a foul.
Weinstein going across field there to block it. That's a dangerous ball. It's a very inexperienced Eagles back line right now. On the season, fairly experienced, but kind of in their careers, obviously Blanco, the freshman, manning that central back role. Woods out at right back, this year being a season that he's finally getting those starts. Only the sophomore, but a season ago playing under 80 minutes.
It's a great play there by Leach just to reach out and grab that ball and bring it up the field.
And Farmington with possession here in the middle. As Chamberlain's going to clear this one up the field, trying to find Etchers. That's a Mongo with possession now. And Jordan's just going to send it up the field now. That will be out, but it went off of a Farmington player, so Husson remaining with possession here. Now switching it back to this left side. Weinstein trying to send that through ball up to Gasser. That one mistouched out of play, though.
We're seeing Husson kind of like to pass back and forth while they're in the midfield and while they're working the ball up. They're not being too aggressive right now.
Seems like the Eagles definitely just trying to test out this Farmington team a little bit. They doesn't seem to have found much that have worked so far, though. Had those couple plays up the left wing, but that really has been the only thing that's worked for Husson. Had no success going through the middle part of the field. Kind of similar to what we saw in the Thomas game. The wings working for the Eagles, but not much through the middle. Obviously, that's usually where you see some of the better defenders and the most amount of bodies.
And the big thing is, too, is clogging up the middle and really trying to force them outside, because when you get to the middle of the field, that's where you're the most dangerous to take a shot or take a pass. So being able to cut that part of the field off is really huge on a defensive standpoint.
And another offsides call out on that left wing.
We've seen already 3 or 4 offsides from this Farmington offense, as they are just being a tad bit too early on some of these breakouts, and it's kind of costing them right now.
It's one of those ones, though, that if they can time that run just correctly just once, that's really all it takes for a couple of these guys to push it up the field and take it in towards goal. Parkin's going to turn this one back inside. Trying to send it out wide to Chamberlain, just curving it a little much in towards goal. Blanco winning that one. Second ball won by Farmington, though. And Gasser gets that one stripped away. Good defensive play there in the middle from Abdi. Nasib Abdi.
Husson's also doing a good job at not letting them go forward a whole lot. You see the Beavers pushing it back, kicking it back quite a few times now, and I think Husson's really forcing them to just reset and not let them go up the field.
I'm not sure if Farmington's really had many touches in the offensive end. Great sliding play there on the wing. Now kicked out for, I believe, a corner kick.
It is going to be a corner kick, I believe.
But I believe that was Abdul-Jabbar Abdi. He managed to slide in there. That was almost a golden opportunity for the Eagles. Farmington and Thomas about the same height differential out there. Not many teams that the Eagles can say that about. That one sent in, punched out by Leach using that height. Something we talk about a lot with the goalkeepers. And I believe that's going to be a foul called against Husson. But the goalkeepers, obviously, you can use your hands. It gives you another 10 or 12 inches over anybody out there of just being able to put your hands straight up. And obviously, Leach at 6'4" on those, it's tough to win those headers against him when he can rise up and just kind of punch that out of there.
Yeah, you got to think with his stand and reach, he can probably reach up to close to 8.5, 9 feet, depending on what his wingspan is. So that's very nice to have as a goalkeeper.
And Woods there stepping to a Dow. Dow's going to take a shot from distance. That one just wide. It's part of what makes him so dangerous.
I believe that's the first shot on goal that the Beavers team has had so far. And that one just going a little bit wide. Not what you want to see.
I believe 2 seasons ago, a Dow being Maine Class A Player of the Year for boys soccer. It's a pretty competitive field out there, especially in southern Maine. So a Dow, obviously, with the pedigree.
A lot of those high school teams in the Class A are very competitive and have a lot of talent on that team, on those teams too. Yeah, especially in the South Division.
And we mentioned that a lot of this Farmington team also out of the Lewiston area. Lewiston, I believe, the reigning state champions. So obviously a group that knows a thing or two about winning.
Over halfway through this game, and we have not seen a goal yet, as both teams are proven to be very defensive at the start, and it's working out for both teams as we've only seen a couple opportunities from both squads with shots on net, but I believe we've seen Husson with a few more opportunities than this Farmington team.
Yeah, Husson definitely had the best one of the game. That one that Leach had to punch up off the crossbar. I think also the Gasser chance over on the left wing were both key opportunities for Husson. Farmington's really only had the one shot from a Dow from 25 yards out.
We've also seen Husson, they've controlled most of the possession so far. I've only seen Farmington get it for, I would say, a minute or two, and then Husson just has the ball right back. They are dominantly leading possession time right now.
Part of that is definitely the strong midfield, I think, for the Eagles. A lot of good passers out there in this group.
Most of the offense for really any soccer team really starts out in the midfield. That's how you get most of the work done. The attackers just go up the field and try to knock in the back of the net. The midfielders are doing all the passing, all the defense, and that's really why they're one of the most important positions out there on the field.
This Farmington team definitely set up to counterattack, though, so the Eagles are going to have to watch out for that. Doesn't matter who has possession necessarily as to who wins the overall contest.
It is true, though, that if you have more possession time, you are more likely to score, but you are right when it comes to counterattacks are a big thing in Division III soccer, as that can really make or break a game.
That's unfortunate there for Etchevers. That one kind of kicked up towards him. Had his hand mostly at his side, but it was definitely away from his body a little bit. And player down here for Farmington. Didn't really see what the collision was. So, see what that one's for. Looks like it'll be J.J. Greenlaw entering the game here for Farmington.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious for this Farmington team.
So it looks like Greenlaw's going to stay here on the sideline. Thought he was going to enter the game there for the injured player, but getting back to his feet. I believe that's Raphael Heron who went to the ground there. So Mongo going out wide here to Weinstein. Monco into the middle here to Etchevers. Etchevers has gained a big role for the Eagles in that central midfield. So there goes Greenlaw, as well as Oscar Davis. Greenlaw locally for Farmington. To Mount Blue High School out of Farmington, Maine as well.
Freshman too, so getting a good opportunity here so far, and he already has a goal in the year, as you like to see that from a freshman.
Yeah, only starting in 3 of the contests on the year here for Farmington, but has played pretty significant minutes in a lot of their bigger games in their schedule. Bigger games being some of the conference matchups against Maine Maritime and Thomas, as well as Leslie. So far, 14 minutes left here in this half. 14. The Eagles and Farmington tied at 0.
It's like what I said from the opener. I was expecting to see a defensive game, and it's definitely been shown in this half, as no teams have had a goal yet, and we haven't seen many opportunities from either team.
Yeah, and with Leach's height in goal, the Eagles, who have definitely had more opportunities, they're going to have to really get either past him or put stuff right into the corner. He's got such a big wingspan that it's going to be hard to score from distance on him unless you put something kind of right into that upper corner.
Gasser tried to do that on pretty early in this game. It did just hit the right corner post, and if he just has that a foot to the left, that's a goal. And you really got to pick those corners against Leach.
We can see how much that makes a difference as Dow puts that one up over the top. Jordan coming off his line. Trying to get to that one. A couple subs here coming for the Eagles. There'll be Mora and Castellanos coming on. And it looks like Chamberlain along with Etchevers will exit. So some fresh legs for Husson.
With Mora too, he has 3 goals on the season, so maybe the Eagles are looking for some offensive firepower to end this half and possibly go up heading into halftime.
Mora not playing in that Presque Isle game. I believe he's dealing with a slight injury, but the Eagles here putting in those 2 new players out on that right side. That's something they're going to try to capitalize on. You have so much extra speed out there now, and obviously a little bit fresher legs. Parkin's going to take a shot. This one, that was on target as he went through the legs of a few Farmington players. That's tricky for a goalkeeper. Kind of can't see the ball until it's already right on top of you.
Yeah, Leach read that very well, and he had made a good slide and save grab for that. Prevented the first goal of the game.
The Eagles have been working a lot of stuff up this left side. In this final 10 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them work it up the right side instead. Weinstein trying to clear that one up the middle. It's going to bounce its way to Neto. Neto getting fouled there on that play.
It's going to be a pretty good field here, pretty good free kick here.
Referee, that one going off of him. So he's going to restart the play a little bit. I think it's going to be a drop ball for Husson. This is about what they were wanting anyways. They weren't trying to move that one up the field all that much. Woods inside to Neto here. Neto's just going to drop it back to him. Yeah, a little too strong of a touch there from Mora.
They are starting to work up that right side more than the left side, as you were just mentioning there. They definitely did try that. Looks like a UMaine Farmington player goes down.
And that was a Dow who got sandwiched between, I believe, Castellanos and Woods. Farmington calling for the advantage on that one. Got to agree with them. They had to play up that left wing. Foul kind of stopped that in his tracks. This one over the top. Great chest ball there, but second one won by Husson. That was a great ball over the top, trying to find Greenlaw.
Husson did a great job there putting a body on that attacker, as he really stopped him in his tracks and didn't lead to anything too dangerous for them.
Well, that's something I was always taught in high school soccer was kind of don't allow someone to get by you without at least getting a little chunk of them. So the Eagles didn't win the initial ball, but they were able to just scrub them up enough that you have all those other defenders there. You don't need to win it personally as long as one of your teammates is there. So I'm trying to put one across, but Leach, big body right there to close that off at the front post.
And the Beavers doing a good job at keeping DeSorm outside and not letting him get in the middle. Like we said, that the middle is the most dangerous part of the field. And they did a good job at not letting him prevent that.
And that should be a card there on Weinstein. He prevented that play. A Dow trying to streak up through the middle. It's a tactical foul there on Weinstein. Having to just step in and make the tackle.
Yellow card issued to Husson's number 12, Arik Weinstein.
So a good foul there, I think, from Weinstein. Obviously, will receive the yellow card, but it was one of those ones that kind of have to make that play. Dow's too good of a player to allow him in on goal.
Yeah, I would agree that was a good foul there, as you just give him a little bit more space, and it's a dangerous offensive play for the Beavers.
Chason on the ball here. He's going to just try to chip this one towards the back post. First one headed out. That is what happens when you get that yellow card there. You saw Weinstein a little bit hesitant on that tackle of a Dow. Now playing with that yellow card, obviously the rule being you get the second one, a double yellow resulting in a red card. The Eagles would have to play a man down for the rest of the contest. And this Farmington team, I think, a little too good to play a man down.
Well, in that Thomas game, the Husson Eagles, they got a red card for almost that entire second half, and they were playing a man down, and that certainly didn't help them in that game.
Obviously seen examples of teams. Husson's done it in the past where they've played a man down. I remember there was a great game actually against Thomas from last year that resulted in a tie for the Eagles, but saw Husson's starting goalkeeper get red carded. And then they wound up playing a man down, being down a couple goals, wound up scoring a couple in the second half, even playing 10v11, and managed to get the tie, which resulted in some really big home field advantage for them later in the year.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way of playing when you're a man down. You got to worry about them because for the most part, they'll usually have a person wide open being, if you go strictly man-to-man, nobody can guard really two people. So, yeah, it's really tough on a defense to be down one player.
I think he said something, Zach. So it'll be Castellanos taking the free kick here.
We see a lot of maroon down in that kind of penalty kick circle, just making a wall kind of across the whole entire field.
So Castellanos is going to put this one in towards the box. Great ball. Leach is going to get there, though, and punch that one clear. That was a good floater right in around the penalty spot.
Leach again using his height to his advantage, just jumping over every single player out on the field, and he got to that ball first.
This won't be a contest, I think, where the Eagles are going to win many headers in the box, especially with Leach. Seen already his ability to kind of command that space out there. You're not going to be able to get those kind of wide open plays. It's a great pass up the line. Counterattack here, Dow with the speed. And that one in towards goal. Garrett Jordan there stepping though. That was a good read by him.
Yeah, Jordan with a good read, like you say, is he watched that ball the entire way and made sure it did not slip by him.
Well, it was a dangerous one. I think a lot of people expecting a Dow to kind of cross that one in, instead putting something high on target towards the far post. It's one where the goalkeeper can often kind of get off footing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad shot at all. You're just looking for some sort of offense with only less than 6 minutes to go in this half.
We've seen in seasons, or in the last season especially, a Dow kind of given that go-ahead to really take the shots when he has them. Mora trying to flick this one on towards Gasser, and that's eventually going to get kicked out for a Husson throw-in down the corner. Closing in on 5 minutes left here in this first half.
This is a good opportunity right here for Husson as they get a nice positional throw in here.
So Farmington kicking the first one clear. Castellanos into Mora. And sliding play on that one. That one's going to be a foul against Farmington, though.
This will give Husson a good free kick opportunity here. Good positioning on this one.
So Farmington building a wall up here on this front side. A big distance to have a four-man wall out there. So with that wall and obviously Leach's size, anything on that front post won't be there. This one's sent in. Leach all over it yet again.
Yeah, Leach with the easy save there as he perfectly read that ball.
And Leach's first punt of the game up around the midfield. Castellanos kind of mistouching that one, but he's going to win the second one. Weinstein right back to him. Good little cut in the middle here. Castellanos out wide to Parkin now.
Parkin putting on the little dribble moves right there.
Yeah, Parkin, someone, remember last year, got some of his first minutes out there for the Eagles and kind of right off the bat. Someone I liked out there in the midfield. Great ball towards Mora, just a little too far, though, for the Eagles.
That was a nice try for that through ball, as if that connects, then it puts Leach in a pretty uncomfortable spot to make that save if there was a shot on goal.
Working with that little bit of extra tenacity, I think, in the midfield. Definitely plays 100% every contest. Gasser gets walled off on that one. Weinstein there, though. That one's actually going to work its way up the line, but up there. Jason, good ball towards the wing. And Weinstein trying to send it up the line, but we'll send it out of play instead. Final 3 minutes of this half. This is where you can see a lot of stuff happen. Teams kind of put their cards on the table sometimes.
It's also where you see teams get the most aggressive as the time winds down. You see them fighting for anything they can get to try to build some momentum going into that locker room at halftime.
So throw in here. This one's going to be sent short, just trying to flick it on. That will go out wide for a goal kick. Good job there from DeSorm to just not really allow the player past him.
And we see DeSorm playing great on both sides of the field. We've seen him go up that left side a few times, and you've seen him also drop back and make some good defensive plays for this Eagles team, as he has been a player that has shined so far, I believe.
And trying to send Gasser, but not really there on that pass. Bermudez trying to send this team up the field a little bit, wants that little bit of extra momentum. It's been a very back and forth affair. And offsides there on a Dow. Good step at the last second there from Woods.
That would have been the best opportunity that this Farmington team has had all game if that wasn't an offside. Whole green grass ahead. It's a one-on-one with the keeper, and
Like a Dow wins that battle probably 99 times out of 100. Maybe not quite that. Maybe more like 9 times out of 10.
and it's so hard to read too as a keeper.
This one, a ball across, just a little too far in front of Gasser, though. And now the Eagles, good job there from Parkin. That could have been a bad opportunity for Husson. Time for Weinstein to control this. Final minute here. Eagles are going to have to push up the field. Mora has Castellanos out on the right side. Not going to take it. Going to go up through the middle here. Finding Neto. Back to Masamango. Masamango's going to take a shot. That one just wide, though. Had a look at it.
Eagles doing another good job at just doing a little bit of tic-tac-toe passing, as they're not looking to be too aggressive. They're looking for the open man. They saw Masamango. Masamango takes the shot and just goes a little bit wide. Great. That was a great opportunity there by Husson.
Husson here, final 20 seconds. Looks like pulling a few guys back. No reason to risk the... That one's going to be a foul there. And Parkin just managing to slow that one down enough. As that will end the half. Even affair so far. Owen, it's been a very close contest between these two.
Both teams are doing great jobs at keeping both the wings and the attackers to the outside. We're seeing both teams doing a good job at collapsing. We're seeing the teams doing a good job at, defending those special team plays, corner kicks, throw-ins, free kicks. And we said it. We knew it was going to be a defensive game, and so far we have gotten a defensive game, as we have not seen a goal so far. And I would say both teams are happy with the result. I mean, no, you don't have a goal, but you aren't losing. So it's going to be an interesting second half we have here, and I'm excited for it.
And we'll be right back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network in about 14 minutes' time. I'm Avery Henningsen alongside Owen Snow here. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen here alongside Owen Snow. We have Husson men's soccer taking on the University of Maine Farmington Beavers here in this North Atlantic Conference matchup. So far 0-0. Looking at the halftime stats, the Eagles definitely edging out Farmington a little bit in terms of offensive attacking chances, 4-1 in shots. And the Eagles also having more corner kicks. One of the other big numbers, I think, being the 7 offsides to 0. Farmington with the 7 in that first half. It was something you could tell they were kind of trying to push that back line a little bit.
Yeah, no, what they were trying to do is they're trying to get that perfect through ball, and at the end of the half, we saw them have a great opportunity. It was going to be a 1-on-0 with the goalkeeper, and it just gets called back for an offside. So it's unfortunate for them. They got to stay a little bit more disciplined. But if one of those through balls gets through and it's not an offside, it's going to be real dangerous for Husson and a great opportunity for Farmington.
Well, I think it's definitely part of kind of what they're trying to do a little bit. It's not necessarily. Sometimes you see offsides where guys are just being lazy. They don't get back in time. This Farmington team is really trying to push that Eagles back line. The Eagles back line playing that flat back, doing a really good job moving up as a unit. I think they've caught Farmington offsides a couple of times as Farmington trying just the boot ball to the corner here off of the opening play. They're eventually just going to kick it out for a throw-in, so it's definitely a strategy that can work for some teams. Castellanos trying to send it up the field. Alvarez is going to lose it there in the middle, but taken back by Masamongo. So now back to Jordan. Won't be surprised as this game continues if Farmington starts to put a little more pressure on this Eagles back line. Putting kind of mild pressure, but not really that type of super intense pressure you might see later in the game.
No, and with the score being 0, we haven't seen the teams being all that aggressive. I wonder if one of the coaches going in the halftime told his guys, "Hey, we got to be more aggressive. We got to try to get a goal. I know we're playing a good defensive game, but we got to score goals in order to win." So we'll see if either team decides to be more aggressive on the offensive side. At least both teams have been aggressive on the defensive side, but it'll really make or break who can put point goals up on the board.
So this will be a free kick from a good spot here for Alvarez. So Neto goes say something to him there right before that free kick. We'll see if the Eagles draw up some little play here or if Alvarez here in a good spot to potentially take a shot on. Mentioned Leach, 6'4", difficult to get the ball past, especially from this distance.
Alvarez is in a good spot though to try and put it up over those Beavers and try to get over the goalkeeper.
He just puts it, or Alvarez puts it off the wall. Second chance here. This one will go all the way through and out for a goal kick.
I wonder if the plan on that kick was to hit it off that wall and try to get a rebound or something. And second chance.
I think Alvarez trying to go low with that one, trying to potentially catch the wall jumping up. We saw him score one of those last year where he kind of intentionally guessed at the wall jumping on it, but instead on that one went a little too high and caught the bottom of the feet there. There'll be a foul, I believe, on Alvarez. There'll be a free kick here to Husson, or Farmington, that is. That one flicked on by a Dow. A little mishandled there by Castellanos, but getting the second one semi out here.
Yeah, Castellanos there did a good job at repositioning himself to head that ball away from the attackers.
And a Dow so confident on the ball. I think, remember from when I was doing the prep sheets earlier this week, a Dow has put on a little bit of height and a little bit of weight in the off season. Now in his sophomore year.
He's listed as 6'2". So yeah, he is one of the taller guys out on this field. Almost as tall as the goalkeeper Leach. So yeah, Farmington really does have the height advantage over this Eagles team.
And Blanco bringing this one up through the middle. Go over to Masamongo. Well, usually the way I do it with the teams that the Eagles have played in the past, I just kind of copy the one from last year and then just update the players and their heights and weights and stuff. And for a Dow, I had to change him from, I believe, either 5'11" or just 6 foot flat to 6'2". Something that just kind of stood out to me that kind of over the last year, one of the better players in the conference.
Sometimes, too, people will grow like after the age of 18. Some people don't stop growing until they're close to 25 years old. So I don't know if he's going to put on another inch or two to his height, but he did see quite a bit of a height increase. You don't see that often in at least the collegiate level.
That one kicked wide, so it'll be a Husson throw-in. Alvarez trying to go back to DeSorme here. Good cutback ball in towards the box. That one's going to get flicked out, though. Chase on against Mozi Masamongo. And Parkin's going to eventually go all the way back to Weinstein. Weinstein, great little ball through the middle to Mora. Mora out wide to Alvarez. Alvarez trying to see DeSorme down the line. But it'll eventually go out for a goal kick. Husson's had a number of those ones where they're just trying to play the little through ball and haven't managed to connect on it.
Yeah, it seems like for a lot of this game, they have tried to produce their offense through the wingers more than really the attacking midfielders. And we only seen the through ball a couple times now in this one.
That was a great little ball to the corner, but offsides again here on Farmington.
Yeah, the 8th one of this game, it's really hasn't been close at all, as Husson hasn't had an offside yet, while Farmington just continues to lead in that department.
Blanco with all the time in the world here. I'm back on the defensive end. Farmington not seeming to really pressure those defensive backs until they get back up around at kind of the yellow guidelines there for the lacrosse field.
The backs have also just done a great job at containing those attackers, as both Blanco, Weinstein, and they've just done a great job at not letting them get too comfortable in that part of the zone.
Yeah, we haven't seen Farmington have a whole lot of possession in and around the box. I believe that one shot they had in the first half was from a Dow from distance.
Yeah, with only one shot on goal for this team. Going into the half, you'd look to see more producing on offense.
Almost a great little flick on there from Chason. So Echeverse will come back in here, taking out Mora. One going across field. It's going to go all the way out to Woods. Woods pushing it upfield to Alvarez here. That one's eventually just going to kind of make its way right to Masamongo's foot.
Yeah, Farmington player just hits off their foot and lands right on Masamongo's at his feet, pretty much.
Good step there from Leach to stop that offensive possession. Kind of a mishit punt there, but it's eventually going to go straight to Farmington, though. And a Dow offsides yet again on that one. That one up around midfield.
I think just with all the offsides, we've already had 2 for them this second half. They are definitely looking to be wicked aggressive. They're trying to set the tone quickly.
And Farmington still obviously hasn't had the offensive chances, but very much in this contest, 0-0 right now. One goal is really all they would need to be able to just kind of drop people back, park the bus, leave a Dow alone up top. Maybe him and one other guy just let them run a little bit, force the Eagles to push upfield. Sorum ball in towards the box. That one cleared out by Douse, though.
It's a good try on DeSorm, trying to get some sort of offense going. It was a good try on that crosser.
And a great step there from Woods to slow it down a little bit. And Sorme getting on top of that one.
Blanco with a great dive and tackle there as he just prevents any sort of shot on goal for this Farmington Beavers team.
Will be a corner kick, I believe, coming up here, though, for Farmington. So Farmington lining up with 3 or 4 guys out on the back post. Be surprised if they try to go to Douse or a Dow here on this one.
I believe this is the Beavers' first corner kick of this entire game, if I'm not mistaken.
Dead ball plays can often be some of the difference makers. Jordan just managing to get a finger on that one. Still alive here, though, for Farmington. Up just over the crossbar as Jordan had to jump for that one.
It almost looks like it goes in from our point of view, at least. When you see the net, you think, oh, is that a goal? But just goes over the top and hits directly on top of the goal. That was one of the better opportunities this Farmington team has had this entire game.
Yeah, and we often talk about in close games like this, those dead ball plays, which are the ones where the ball is kind of initially stopped. The play is stopped for them to take the free kick. Basically, any free kick play can often be some of the big difference makers in contests like this because it just allows you to have, basically, you're allowed to put in the perfect ball. It's whether or not your guys can get there, obviously. But theoretically, you're given that chance that you don't have a defender within 10 yards of you. And a foul there called on the Eagles.
Seems like the defensive game plan for UMF is letting Husson kind of do all the work. They're not playing too aggressive right now. At least we're seeing this in the second half where they're just kind of letting them come towards them, and then once they are close enough, they kind of trap them and they try to go work on that counterattack.
It's a strategy that could definitely wear the Eagles down a little bit. And or catch them off guard when Farmington starts to get more aggressive. On a ball trying to get up over the top. Jordan there, though. I think Jordan definitely learning some stuff from that Bowdoin game.
Yeah, Jordan hasn't really been faced with many shots in this contest either. He's just kind of been chilling at his kind of goalpost. And, you know, Farmington is putting on a little bit more pressure here, so he's going to have to work a little bit harder.
Blanco trying to send a ball up through that one. Misstruck, though.
When you just look down at that field, Leach is just taller and just towers almost everyone else out on this field. You can really tell from at least our point of view the height difference for sure.
And it's definitely one that can be a difference maker, I think, in that goalkeeper position. Obviously, the smaller keepers can usually be a little more agile, a little faster off their line. But it kind of depends on what, I mean, obviously most of the professional goalkeepers, you don't see many shorter than 6'4", 6'2", kind of in that area. Say most of the top guys in the world are definitely in the 6'4" to 6'7" range out there.
Yeah, and then we have sophomore Jordan, who is only 5'10". He doesn't break the 6-foot mark, but he definitely is a quick goalkeeper out there. He definitely knows. He's definitely fast when he goes post to post.
We just kind of have to use your size a little bit differently, I think. Out on the right wing here. Alvarez is going to step to that one. Park in there as well. Masamongo, good little toe poke out. Good ball back across. And that one's going to be out for a goal kick.
Just misses the feet of 2 Farmington players. I believe they thought they had something going there and just kind of goes wide.
Weinstein here with possession. Creeping in on 30 minutes left in the contest. Both of these teams still looking for that first goal. One into the middle now. A Dow having tracked all the way back down into the midfield. And the Storm's going to go up the field. Now Chason on the ball. Going to get around to Storm. Ball across. Jordan managed to get a hand on it. That one popped up high. That's that agility we talked about.
Yeah, agile save there from Jordan. He definitely used his speed to his advantage there, and good reflexes too.
And a good save there from Jordan on the shot from a Dow. Can see that when he gets just that little bit of opportunity, more than willing to pull the trigger.
Again, we're seeing Farmington continue to be aggressive offensively in this half. We just saw back-to-back shots on Jordan, and he is playing well so far. And, you know, you love to see that from a young keeper like him.
And we saw Jordan have a really good game earlier in the year, when he allowed only 1 goal against Suffolk. I believe he was the MAC Defensive Player of the Week that week. So Sears going to come on and take off Parkin.
It's definitely been a battle of the keepers so far in this matchup. Both of them have made good saves, and it also helps to have a good defense back there.
So Sear will move in to the striker position. It looks like Neto's going to actually drop back into the midfield.
And Sear with a lone goal on the year, so he's known to produce.
That was almost a great ball from Etcheverse. Neto's still on it. It's going to go out wide to Masamongo. Sear definitely plays a little bit more of a bully ball type offensive presence out there. A lot of size. And Masamongo trying to get a rip on that one, but well over the crossbar.
Yeah, and Sear listed as 6'1", 200 pounds. You can tell he uses his body to his advantage, as he can really bully and press up against anyone on this UMaine Farmington team.
Yeah, last year playing for Southern Maine Community College, scored 16 goals over 14 games. So definitely knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. I know he was also very good up north in Madawaska as well during his high school career. We'll see what that whistle is for. I think they're just trying to push them back a little bit potentially.
I think it looks like that, yeah. I believe you're correct.
See a lot of teams when they get possession of the ball try to move it up the field as far as they can. Some referees, well, there's kind of a gray area of 5 to 10 yards. Will they kind of allow them to move up? Maybe more like 5 yards. But once you get past that 5 yards, it's by referee. But oftentimes you'll see them blow the whistle, pull the play back. usually won't remove the throw in from them unless they do it multiple times out there. It's another offsides on a Dow potentially. It was Eagles possession either way, but Dow not managing to stay on sides again.
That would be I believe, the 9th offside this Farmington team has had. You don't see that many offsides really in a game, let alone an entire team. So I don't know if that's just the game plan or if it's just positioning wise.
I think it's really just the strategy of this Farmington team of just trying to catch players offsides. That's going to be another one, as Dow, I think, just guessed that run a little bit too early.
Yeah, I do think he was just a tad step over the ball. I think that was a good offside call from the ref.
That one I could see from up here pretty easily. Dow kind of went to go make his run, and then the pass didn't come, and then tried to get back on sides, and then the pass came. Those are the frustrating ones as an offensive player sometimes.
Yeah, in Dow with 6 goals on the year, so almost a goal a game. So he does look to be quite aggressive in that striker position.
Breakaway chance here for Farmington. Ball towards the back post, too far out in front of Coleman, though.
And again, Dow for this UMF team was on the NAC first team last season and had a hat trick against Leslie this season, I believe, as he has 20 goals in his young sophomore career. So he has plenty of time to grow in the next 2 years for this team.
Dow, one of the more feared strikers in the conference last season. Him along with Joshua Joseph for Thomas were two of the names that kind of drew a lot of attention last year on the offensive end. Joseph now with the running mate in David Iverson, proving to be dangerous at Thomas. Great little spin move there by Castellanos, but second defender will take it away. And another good step there from Woods. Blanco going out wide to Castellanos. Sear with it. Trying to get it across. We'll see who this one was off. DeSorm's going to get there first.
Again, we're seeing a good job by Husson as they're not forcing too many passes, as they are always looking for an open guy, and that really helps them when attacking.
Great little header there from Douse, proving why he's been a consistent starter for this Farmington team for years now. Alvarez trying to put that little through ball into it. Neto.
Little background here on Douse. He is a senior, and he has started every game for UMF in his career, as he was a NAC second team last season, and on the year has 2 goals in that back position. So he is really the defensive focal point for this team, as it looks like he does a little bit of everything out on this soccer field.
Yeah, Douse already up to 678 minutes on the year. Through 8 games, only not played in 40 minutes of it. That was a Dow rising up to win that header. No one crashing into the box, though, for Farmington. See, Alvarez has moved into a little bit more of an attacking position. Was looking for potentially the through ball up to the top. The big punt there from Jordan.
And you mentioned Alvarez moving kind of up into that attacking midfielder role. I mean, he does have 2 goals and 3 assists on the year, so he does look to produce
that one
quite a bit.
The window here, that one just going just by us. A good step there from Jordan. Samongo going up the field to Sear. Good little header there. Another nice pass from Alvarez. Etcheworth's bringing it up the field. He's going to try to get his way past Douse. Has a bad angle towards goal now. And Dowse, great defender on that one, is going to step and push him away.
Dowse winning the one-on-one matchup there with Etchevers, proving why he is one of the better backs on the UMF team.
Eagles have a lot of room out on this right wing. Castellanos, no one within 20 yards of him until dropping back here defensively. And this one's going to stray down the line, staying in play here. Foot race for it between Weinstein and Chasen. And Jordan just going to clear that one up the field. And flying in on that one. It's eventually going to make its way to the Eagles, though. Sear with possession. No one really around him. Good job dropping it back to Alvarez.
We've seen Sear do that twice now, drop it back into the midfield. And on that first try, it was Etchevers and Alvarez trying to work a little bit up that middle. That might be a focal point going towards the end of this game.
Well, it's a smart play from Sear. When you get that ball, obviously you would think turn up field, but he doesn't have anybody with him. This Eagles team has a very big midfield group, but it takes time for them to really move up the field. These outside wingers have defensive responsibilities. So Sear there on that one, just trying to slow it down for a second, let the rest of his team fill in behind him.
And it's not a bad idea. It's not like you are down any goals, so it's not like you have to be too aggressive.
Neto shot low, and Castellanos, if he had made that run a little sooner, may have been able to get to that back post. And they're saying that Leach didn't actually touch that one. That was another great ball from Etchevers out wide to Neto. I know Sear doing a good job up on the offensive end, using that size. The Eagles using him to just kind of get the ball up the field, then let him drop it back to the defense.
Yeah, I believe that would be that was Husson's one of their best opportunities in this second half.
Alvarez trying to send it over towards Sear and colliding with Dowse on that one. Leach coming off his line.
And having Sear in that kind of striker role really gives them the physicality advantage.
And a good job again from Jordan coming off his line. Something we talked about in that Bone game. He struggled a little bit with those ones being aggressive. I think it's something he's probably worked on since then. Sear again using that size. Really doing a great job out there. That's exactly what you ask from that striker. Win those 50-50 balls on the offensive end. Castellanos on to Etchevers. Etchevers back to the middle, just a little too strong though. Eagles team is working well together right now in this last 5 minutes. So you're dropping it back to Etchevers. Shot that one off of the defender though, as that could have been a golden chance for Husson if that hadn't taken the deflection.
Yeah, Husson has really started to connect on a lot of their plays now in this half.
Castellanos trying to find Sear. That one managed to get on target. Not a whole lot behind it from Sear.
Sear again using that physicality to try and position himself over this UMF defense, as when he has the physical advantage, it really can help him when setting up positionally and scoring maybe a goal for this team.
Yeah, that Sear substitution doing good work for the Eagles right now. Woods trying to go back post. Didn't quite get there. I think Sear misread where that ball was going a little bit. Trying to send one up the line to a Dow. Good job by Woods, though, getting a toe on it. And that one again off of Husson. So despite the chances for the Eagles so far, they haven't managed to get anything with any of them. Coming out for a goal kick. So Chamberlain will come on for DeSorm. He's going to assume the role on this near side wing while will be Castellanos going out to the left side. Seen the Eagles overloading that side a couple times here. The last couple chances they've had have come from plays up that left side. Chamberlain into the middle here to Etcheverse. Etcheverse out wide now to Weinstein. That one trying to find Masamongo, not there though. As Alvarez going into the middle here to Etcheverse, running room in front of him. Etcheverse out wide to Castellanos. A little cut back here from Etcheverse, going to put a shot on that one, just a little too high though. Etcheverse having a good second half here.
What I'm seeing from Husson right now is UMF is still playing that sort of defensive game where they're trying to let Husson come towards them, and Husson's doing a great job at, running into open field and open ground, and they are doing a good job at finding those other players, and it's really working out for them as the passes are connecting, and it's leading to a lot of good chances.
That one's going to go all the way up to Jordan. And Sear trying to win that one. Etcheverse sliding in. And eventually it's going to get poked out for a Husson throw-in. And stopping the clock on that one. I didn't quite see what happened.
Yeah, I just saw a lot of...
So two referees conferring on that one. And it's going to be given throw-in here to Farmington.
Yeah, I think there may have been a shove on that play from Husson. It's hard from my point of view to see what really happened, but I think that's what happened.
That was right down in that kind of area where we have 8 different windows and beams and kind of dividers blocking our view.
It's almost like right below us too, so it's not the best view to look at and to see.
This one up top, shot, and Garrett Jordan, that is, will collect it with ease.
Jordan with one of the better games he's had this season, as he is doing good on all the shots coming towards him in different directions. He's proven to be a key focal point so far. Adow, I think that was another offside called on him. I believe he's had over half of the offsides this team has had tonight.
So the Eagles, I think, trying to position to a little bit more of an attacking strategy. They obviously need this win in terms of end of season rankings.
Yeah, you can really tell the switch as they are really working that ball around quite well.
That's going to be a foul on Castellanos. And Farmington obviously playing for that top seed, but having taken the loss already to Thomas. I mean, I think if they win this game, they'd be in a similar boat to the Eagles.
Yeah, and if we look at Husson, they are currently 2-1 in the conference, and if we look at UMF, they are 3-1 in the conference. So both teams doing quite well in conference play. Obviously, Husson with that one loss to Thomas doesn't really help them all too much, but a winning record is good to see from them.
Well, both of them with that one loss to Thomas on the season. Those being their only losses in conference play.
Thomas just looking like a powerhouse this season, and it's going to be really hard come playoff time to beat them, it looks like.
And Sear puts the header on, but saved by Leach.
That's a great read by Leach there, as kind of with those headers, they get deflected and it can throw off where you think the ball's going to go, depending on the spin and other kind of factors. He did a good job at making the save on that one.
And Castellanos, nice play over there on the wing, but it will lead to a Farmington throw. But a nice move on a defender, sent someone sliding. Creeping down to 11 minutes here in the contest.
Castellanos on this squad is one of the smaller guys on the team, only weighs in at 155 pounds. So he is looking to use his agility to his advantage.
That one's going to get slid out for the corner kick. That's Douse, who in some pain after that one. And he's getting walked over. It might have been something with the turf. I know sliding on the turf, you can often get kind of carpet burn. Or he might have got his hand stepped on as well.
This would be another good opportunity here for the Eagles on this corner kick, as they've got a bunch of people in front of that net.
So bringing in the sub here will be Castellanos to take the corner. Eagles got everybody in around the keeper.
Yeah, that was Monte Weaver, the freshman, coming into the game. Probably to add a little bit more height on this corner kick.
This one bent in towards Leach with the big hands up and over everybody.
And I feel like a broken record when I say this, but Leach, again, using his height to his advantage, as there was nobody else who could have gotten that but him.
This one, a big punt up the field. Going to be won by Shason. And Weinstein's going to kick that one off of the defender, then off of himself again. Ball across, good hands from Jordan. We hit the 10-minute mark here in the contest.
Again, Husson just proven to be strong on defense, and they are just dominating in that kind of aspect. Well, both teams are playing good defensively, but Husson, they really are not letting the UMF attackers do much at all. And while this game has gone out, we haven't seen much from them, at least working it in the zone and getting many chances.
I mean, interesting chess match here between these two as this goes down. Who can put the right amount of offensive pressure while not giving up on the defensive side? That's a good ball out wide to Castellanos. Needs some players around him, though. He's going to try to go into the middle to Etchever's. Nothing there, though. And Chamberlain's going to step, give it to Masamongo. Alvarez into the middle to Etchever's. Etchever shot that one well too wide, though.
He had the power on that one, just did not have the accuracy. And honestly, with this much time left in the game, any shot on goal, whether that's wide or short, it's good. It's good for any team to really produce like that.
So the captain in Dow's heading back out there. Looks like he's got the fingers on his hand taped potentially. And Jordan's going to have to come up, scissor kick that one out of play.
It's another great aggressive play by Jordan. He has been on fire this game when it comes to being aggressive.
So that's going to be out for a corner kick. Chamberlain couldn't quite get there.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was just the leading team. My bad.
Chamberlain coming in, subbing in into the second half, has proven to be a strong part defensively on that wing back position. That was a great clear by him, but this corner kick could be real dangerous for the Beavers.
That one sent in short. Weinstein's going to get the first toe on it. He's going to send it up in the air. Wasn't the greatest of clearances, but Woods with the second ball. That one's going to stray way out of play, though. We'll see how the Eagles, final 7:30 here. Interested to see if they use any substitutions late in this one. Try to get a fresh leg or two out there. A couple guys off the bench who could make impacts.
Yeah, and with a deep team like Husson, you can afford to do that without losing much talent.
It's going to be a foul on Blanco in a dangerous position. A Dow here with a chance to try to put one on target.
And a Dow with could be the most dangerous play for them, as he is known to score a goal, as I believe he leads the team with goals on the year. So be a good opportunity for him on this free kick.
Him and Chasen standing over it. Going to have pretty much a direct shot at goal. Eagles putting the wall on this left side. A Dow shot off the wall into the bottom corner as the Farmington Beavers get the break off of the wall. And that puts Farmington up 1 in this contest. What a play, as that one, kind of an unlucky play for the Eagles. A Dow trying to put one around the corner, takes a hit off of the wall, and then goes right into the bottom corner.
Yeah, and that was just an unfortunate bounce for the Eagles. There's really not much Jordan can do on that play, and a Dow will get, I believe a Dow will get credited with that goal, and that puts him up to 7 on the year. So 7 out of his 8 games he has a goal. So that's a huge one late in this game.
So the Eagles moving some things around.
The Eagles are probably they're gonna have to look aggressive now, as they are now down. So they cannot look to really be conservative here.
They can't afford to lose this game if they're thinking about later in the season. They've moved to a 2-back line here. This one out to Masamongo. Going to try to go inside. Neto gets a toe on it. Still alive in the box here. Shoved down in the box. No whistle. This one's going to get sent over.
Yeah, and Greenlaw there, I believe, making a great defensive play and preventing him from getting any forward progress.
So the Eagles bringing in Gasser there during the break between the goal. Gasser almost rising up for that one. That one's going to get sent way up the field. Blanco in a foot race here with a Dow. This is kind of what I mentioned earlier. At this point in the game, Farmington's going to be able to just drop some players back, let a Dow run around up top. So intense matchup here. The only goal coming off of that big free kick play.
Yeah, the special teams came up big for Farmington there. They put the first goal up on the board and could be the only goal that gets scored tonight.
Neto dropping this one back to Woods. Now across field to Blanco. Blanco going out wide to Alvarez. Alvarez trying to send one in towards the box. That was Chamberlain trying to box out a couple guys. I don't see who that went off of. It'll be Eagles ball here.
Yeah, I believe that went off the head of Farmington midfielder.
Chamberlain's going to send one in towards Alvarez. And Chason's just going to clear this one out. At this point, Farmington in a position where they can just boot the ball away from them. They obviously have the 1-goal advantage.
Yeah, for Farmington, now being up in this one, they cannot afford to have any defensive breakdowns, as they got to defend the lead and play good, solid defense throughout.
Echeverri's trying to put one on there, just couldn't get enough behind it. Leach will take his time getting back to his feet here. And Leach is going to send this one up the field. It's a Dow and Blanco there. Alvarez will try to win the second ball. That one's going to be sent on. Neto finding Chamberlain. Good sliding play on that one. Going to be whistle blown. Chamberlain caught the player on that one. That'll be a card going to him.
Yeah, just being a little bit too aggressive there. There was really, I don't know if there was really any need for that to happen.
.330 left in this one. That's the same player that I think had the collision with Chamberlain down on the sideline earlier.
Yeah, Luciano, the freshman, going down there. He will be going back to the bench.
So there'll be a couple substitutions coming in here for Farmington. It looks like bringing in another defender. We're going to just send this one up the field, trying to play for the goal kick. Eagles need to play this one fast. Let's see, Farmington's dropped 9 men back past midfield and just a Dow up on the offensive end. That one not really a big enough boot to get to Castellanos. A Dow's just going to try to dribble this one himself. I'll be out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Husson's going to have to move this ball up fast on this goal kick, as Jordan really kicking that one quickly as I say that. They got to look. They just got to push, push, push right now.
Wood's going to try to send one up through the middle. That first header one, Neto back in towards the box. Flicked on, Masamago there, tries to get one on, nothing there. Chamberlain couldn't quite get around on the shot, and that'll be out for a goal kick.
Masimango, great balance there as he almost gets a nice kick up in that little circle area and just didn't get the right footing on that one.
So Leach is going to just try to send this one as far away from him as he can.
Looks like a Farmington player is going to go down. He hit the deck pretty quickly, pretty hard.
So Farmington will take their time with this free kick. Under 2 minutes here.
Yeah, what Farmington's got to do is they just got to chew the clock down as much as they can. And then Husson, they got to capitalize on every attack opportunity they have.
Dow's just sending that one into the corner. Alvarez with possession. Back to Castellanos. Blanca going to go into the middle here to Jordan. Eagles going to have to get something in this next minute to at least tie the contest. Mongo trying to push up the field. The Eagles just need to send everybody at this point.
Yeah, have one or two guys back to make sure they don't put on an insurance goal, but everyone else is going to have to be up on the play.
Well, at this point, 2-0 is the same as 1, so Husson down 1 here, and that clearance could just about do it, as this one's going to just get sent to the corner. foot race for it between Blanco and Adow. Good cutback by Blanco. 30 seconds here. Eagles probably one more chance. Need to just have clean touches up through here, up the field towards Sear, trying to flick it on. Leach is going to get there, fall on it. 20 seconds here. Leach will have the time to just boot this one straight up. Going to try to send this one up the field. That should just about do it. Maybe one more shot chance here. That one's too high, though. And Sear's going to put a shot wide. The Beavers come into Boucher Field, take down the defending North Atlantic Conference East champions. So the Eagles losing 2 games to 2 of the biggest teams in the conference between Farmington and Thomas. That was a close game throughout between Husson and Farmington. It's just one bad bounce away from being even closer here tonight.
One bad bounce and one bad foul, too, as that foul really put them in good position for that free kick. Not the result you want to see from Husson. In the game like this, you would want to see a tie or a win. A win you always want, but in a game like this where it was close from until the very end, a tie, as both teams played a great defensive game. Both goalies, Leach and Jordan, trying their hardest, and Leach obviously getting the shutout. It was just a great battle by both teams, but Farmington with the lone goal really helps them win tonight.
And that will move the Eagles on the season to 5-3-1, 2-2 in conference play. Both those 2 losses coming to some key opponents out there. While Farmington will move to 5-3-1 themselves, but 4-1 in conference play. And now in the driver's seat to potentially have the number 2 seed in the conference, and or still very much in the running for that number 1 seed. The Eagles no longer control their destiny in terms of that end of season ranking. They're going to have to rely on a Thomas loss or tie later on in the season. But for now, it's been Avery Henningsen alongside Owen Snow here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Have a good rest of your evening.